corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. So, the resume we have up first is I don't know, they made a giant error. They didn't tell me. When you are looking for any job, not just software engineer, you need to be specific. You need to be very specific. The difference between a full stack software engineer and a back end software engineer and a front end software engineer are massive. Yes, I am aware of what full stack means, but they all require different qualifications. This goes for even non-software engineers. Jobs are looking for something very specific. So what you want to do is you want to find about 15 jobs that share the same job title, and then look at their qualifications, not the responsibilities, the qualifications, and make a list of keywords of those 15 jobs and use that to build your resume. So since I have no idea what they're looking for, I'm going to roll a 6-sided dice right here, and whatever it lands on, that's what I'm reviewing this as. So we're reviewing this as a 2. That is a back-end Python developer. I know that looks like a 5, but that's just how this dice looks upside down. So, Python developer. What we are looking for in a back-end Python developer is, as soon as I can get this up, because it's taking me half a second, this. Python, SQL, Docker, Cloud, and its words. So again, it's going to depend on if it's Azure, AWS, or GCP. RESTful APIs, Agile, Git, CI/CD, and then one of these bundles. So full stack, AI, DevOps, or Fast API, Flask, and Django, and a bonus for Kubernetes, ETL, MongoDB, and Java. So can I find this in 20 seconds? Because that's all the time recruiters have. Well, let's find out. But this person, I probably won't find it because this is a terrible resume. It takes them over 150 applications to get a single interview, which is how you tell how good your resume is. If your resume is getting you at a minimum 50 applications to one interview, congrats, your resume is average. Again, it could be worse, but it could be a lot better. This person is 150, so this is a garbage resume. All right, let's look and go. All right. Can't use this. Where's your degree? Okay, education. Okay, got. Designing multi-threaded Python. Okay, good. With an object-oriented architecture. Okay, developed optimized C. And is that it? GitHub, which is something I'm looking for. And declined. So the only thing they had was Python. I will say, this is mostly a good start to the sentence. Like, I like this. Designed a multi-threaded Python service. Good. With an OOP. Well, actually, no. Just object-oriented, not object-oriented. Programming architecture to handle streaming. I need more, right? I need about 75% of these to move you forward. I do like how you wrote these. You just did not write what I needed. So, let me read the note to this person. They stated, I recently graduated from the Bay Area with a degree in computer engineering with a concentration in embedded systems and machine learning. Since graduated, I've applied to about 50, you told me 150 to 1, applied to 50 application positions through LinkedIn, but have received almost entirely rejections. Trying to figure out whether the issue lies in my resume or my skill set. It's your resume and the fact that the job market is terrible because we are in a recession. Two things can be true. It could be a nightmare to find a job and your resume can be hurting you. All right, so feedback, which is what you actually want, is I need more, right? Like you wrote, this is, a lot of the times I tell people you need to completely redo this resume. You need to start again. This is not the case. Like, yeah, the formatting could use a little bit of work because you want it to look like this. This is the best formatting. The link is below. It's on my website. It's free. But you actually, I think it's only going to take you like 30 minutes to fix this thing, bro. Like, this is not a trash resume. This is all you need to do is add a couple of things. So here's what I would like you to do. Instead of this sentence, what I want you to say is designed a multi-threaded Python service using Cloud, RESTful APIs, Git, CI/CD, pick whatever 4 or 5 of them you want from this list, and then continue with the rest of the sentence. And then for here, do the same. Again, I need 75% of this stuff to move you forward. And if I do not have 75% of that, I cannot move you forward, which is where this resume's problem is you only mention Python and GitHub. That's it. That's all you mention. So I need you to mention CI/CD. I need you to mention RESTful APIs. I need you to mention some cloud. And then one of those following. So like full stack or AI or DevOps or Fast API, Flask, and Django. And then maybe a bonus. Because how you wrote these sentences is close to how I would want you to write them. It's just there's not enough in it. So this is the difference between keywords and qualifications. So a keyword is a part of a qualification, but it's not the whole thing. So what a keyword is the skill that a company is looking for, right? They are looking for someone that can use Python. They are looking for somebody that has done cloud, maybe AWS with EC2. That would be a keyword. The problem is we cannot move somebody forward if they only have a keyword. We have to move them forward if they have a qualification. And a qualification is keyword plus how you did it, plus the reason or result of you doing it, plus where you did it. So overall, this person actually wrote the qualifications in a way that I like, that most people don't. They don't write them like this, but they should. So all you need to do is just add in the keyword to these sentences and you'll be good, because you did the hard part, which was showing how you did it and the reason or result. You literally just need to input this stuff and then you're going to start moving forward. And you need your degree up at the top. You absolutely need that. Instead of a summary, you don't need a summary. So overall, is this a bad resume? Yes. But it's not going to take you too long to fix it. This is not a start over from the beginning and burn it in the trash can. So if you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlestheadhunter. And if you ever need more help, you can ask me in the comments below, but please like, comment, subscribe, send this to your friends and family that need help, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. So what we need for a software engineer intern is the same thing we need for every single intern. Every single intern, if they are a bachelor's, needs basically the same thing across every other industry. You need your degree. You need to show me a basic knowledge of whatever your industry is, which in this case will be tech stack, so language, library, SQL, cloud, the ability to work well with others, and that you can take direction and criticism. Those four things are it. Most interns overcomplicate it by putting a bunch of random metrics and 20% and 30% and whatever and all this stuff when we're really just looking for those four basic things. The more basic and boring your resume, the better, especially for interns. So, can I find those in 20 seconds? Let's find out. And go. Okay, that's okay, but you don't really tell me enough how. Python script is fine. It's very build, okay. Develop Python packages to find the records for SQL database. It's okay. So, yeah, I didn't get all the way through it, but I got far enough. It's, you need a little bit more of the tech stack, but not a ton. But a big thing is I don't see how you work well with others. So, first off, collaborated is not, that does not count. I actually personally hate that word. I don't reject people based on that word, but it is too broad of a word. So in fact, let me back up even further. First, your formatting is off. This is how your formatting should look. This is how yours does. And I'm not sure if it's just that the margins are off, but it looks a little crunched and it's a little harder to read. But I think you did 1.15 spacing instead of 1.15 instead of 1.5 spacing. You want 1.5 spacing, Arial, and then it should all be 10.5. So something is slightly off in the formatting, which does make it harder to read. Then we go into the bullet points. So ideally you could fit this in the one line, but if you can't, it's not the biggest deal. This though needs to be better, right? So I like that you tell me it's a .NET. I like that you tell me it's API. But what is collaborated cross-functionally? For real. Did that mean that they called you into the office and you gave them coffee? Does that mean that you built it all by yourself? Did you attend meetings? I don't know, because you did not tell me. Same thing with this. I need a little more. Each bullet point should contain at a minimum about 3 to 5 bullet points, or 3 to 5 keywords, and this does not have enough of them. So I see Python again, API C. I would like I'd like maybe RESTful APIs, but I want to know how you worked with others, right? I don't want to hear just collaborated. I want to see met weekly with the engineering lead where they would go over my code in Python, SQL, whatever, to give criticisms so that I could change it for our next meeting. That would be a good one. Or went to daily stand-ups where our weekly tasks were given to us, right? Like, I need that level of basic, but I do need it because I just don't see how you work well with others. So fix the formatting, add a little bit more to the bullet points. You need just a smidge more, and show me how you work well with others and take direction and criticism, and you should have a much better shot. Because what you wrote me was this is your updated resume. We don't have a ratio. The previous ratio was 150 to 1, which is terrible. This one is, again, I could maybe pass you with this, but I need a little bit more of how you could work well together. But it's much better, and it's on your way. Again, this is not absolute garbage. We do need to do some work, but it is salvageable. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a data scientist. So what we need for a data scientist is degree, Python, R, SQL, data in all its forms, modeling, so analytics, etc. Like data modeling, data analytics, industry, healthcare. Again, I want to see what industry you're in. Explaining stuff to non-technical folks. This is huge. I don't want you to just write directly, I explained X to non-technical folks. I want you to say, like, created presentations for non-technical blank to understand the complex data to do Y. So influencing stakeholders, cross-functional, something involving cloud, Microsoft Office applications, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and probably advanced Excel, Google Sheets, AI, LLM, ML, NLP, Spark, Skibbity-Learn, Pandas, NumPy, dashboards, data visualization, and ETL. So can I find it in 20 seconds? Let's find out. And go. Okay, degree good. Python SQL with PyTorch. Okay, good. A bit of Skibbity-Learn. Influence non-technical stakeholders using Microsoft PowerPoint represented Project Pipeline. Close. Worked cross-consulting with clean explain complex data. Portfolio represented non-technical. Presented game theory using BI to translate complex mathematics. Okay. This might pass. There's some flaws with this, but this is actually pretty well written. This is their second try. Let me read what they wrote. So they wrote, this is my second submission. I am doing the researching in data science. To reiterate from my first, I'm still interested in working as a junior data science and made a separate resume for the other roles, such as research. So yeah, this is not bad, although it could use a little bit of work. So I do know I write this as / You don't want to actually write this as / in your resume. You want to use a comma. So developed Python, comma, SQL, and I guess AI data pipelines with Panda, NumPy, Skibbity-Learn, based feature traps to support data modeling. So here's sort of the thing is, I like most of this, but you're kind of telling me how you got the data. I want to know what you used the data for. And then this one, influence non-technical stakeholders using Microsoft PowerPoint by presenting the project CNC pipeline, resulting in competitive funding. Again, not bad, but I want you to phrase it slightly differently, right? Like, created Microsoft Office PowerPoints to present to our stakeholders that resulted in increased funding after explaining complex technical processes and how they would help us. Something like that. This is a little too short and not enough detail, and it's sort of focused the wrong way a little bit. But again, not the worst, just that's how to improve it. Worked cross-functionally good with the Department of Psychology. Well, okay, so this is maybe not use of the correct word of cross-functional. Cross-functional is multiple departments. So by saying work cross-functionally with Department of Psychology, that kind of implies you didn't, because it would be like Department of Psychology and Machine Learning or Computer Science or something. So I need you to write cross-functionally correctly, because that is an incorrect use of the term. Clearly explaining complex statistical analysis. No, I don't want you to say clearly explaining. I want you to say by explaining, okay? I need you to show me. I don't want you to tell me, all right? I don't want you to say clearly explaining. I want you to say explained complex by creating PowerPoint documentations or something. And MLTDs for integration. Again, I don't know why that was important. I don't know why the data into workflow was important. You're still trying to show me how the data is important. I don't care that the data. I don't care how you got the data. If you rolled this D6 and you promised that it was accurate data, I don't care. I need to know what it was used for. Created a Power BI portfolio of experimental results to present at non-technical conferences to expand further research. Why was that important, right? So you have correctly identified the what, which is the keyword. You have identified the how, but you haven't really given me the reason or result of doing it. So again, I remember your previous resume. This is much, much better. And I think even the way it is, you might be able to get some interviews from this. But I want to make it even better. And if this is your second or third submission to me, I'm going to be extra picky. So again, good job on being better than the previous one, but you are focused more on explaining how you got the data, not why the data was important. And I need you to sort of switch around some of the verbiages in these sentences because they read a little weird. But otherwise, again, good job, better than it was. I just want to take it to the next level, next resume. This is a data and business analyst, but those are different jobs, so this is only going to be a business analyst. Also, if you're wondering why this is so hard to read, it's because they made it into a PDF and then sent it to me as a JPEG, which I then had to turn back into a PDF. So that is why this looks so awkward. I imagine the real one that they send to people looks relatively normal. So let's see if I can find what I need. So for business analyst, I need SQL, Tableau, Power BI, Industry, Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Outlook, Excel, Word, Jira, SAP, requirements gathering and documentation, cross-functional from IC to stakeholders and managers, explaining complex topics to non-technical people. That is huge. Again, you are the business expert. These people cannot turn on their monitors. You have to show them how to do that. Meet multiple deadlines concurrently, and then Agile or Scrum or Waterfall. So, can I find that in 20 seconds? I don't know. Let's find out. And go. I have to look all the way here because this is hard to read. Can't use that there. Automated cross-functional from reporting. Okay. That's okay. Developed interactive dashboards and Looker. Close to what I want. Sales CRM tracking. I don't care about that. Yeah, okay. So this would be yeeted and deleted. They kind of started trying to brag. And again, I'm not looking for you to put in these numbers of 40% or 30%. I need you to show me what you did, how you did it, and the reason or result of you doing it. And they did not do that. They kind of tried to brag and be like, I did 1,000 views of X. And I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. I need you to show me that you've done it, not show me how good you are. So, what did they write? Jobless for 4 months. I do get calls from recruiters, but nothing happens next. They call me seeing my resume and then tell me if my resume gets shortlisted, then they will give me a call, and that's it. I'm ghosted. Well, yeah, what they do is this resume has a little bit of everything, so it's showing up in Boolean searches for them, and then they talk to you and they see it, and they realize that you don't actually show you have the qualifications in the way that they want. So that is why you don't want this. This does not help. Stop putting the tech stack here. You need to show me here. It's the fact that you put this and did not put it all down here is making it harder. But again, you're writing this like you're trying to impress me, right? Like automated 15 cross-functional workflows using Google Apps Script and SQL, replacing manual reporting, tracking, and data consolidation process, reducing operational effort by 40%. That's not what I'm looking for. Like, if you just said used SQL, MS Office, and Excel pivot points to, let's see, what are the other qualifications for this? To assist with requirements gathering and documentation, for our operational, actually, I don't even know what operational efforts mean. for our data collection or something. That would be way better than whatever you wrote. Developed interactive BI dashboards in Looker Studio and Tableau. Good. To visualize revenue, delivery, performance. What is that? Why do I care? I don't know. And employee KPI. Again, don't care. Everybody focuses so hard on KPI in these, and like they're not asking for it. And data consolidation process, business reporting efficiency. I don't care. Again, you start off almost strong by saying what I want, but then I don't really care why you did it. You need to just tell me what you did. This is why you're not going to impress me. I have 20 seconds. That's it. You cannot be impressed in 20 seconds. It's like trying to find the love of your life on a 5-second look. You can't. That's not what it's for. The entire goal is to see that you meet the bare minimum qualifications. And I don't see that because you do not tell me how you did this. So this is why you are having problems. This is why recruiters are reaching out and then not talking to you. Although they shouldn't be ghosting you, to be clear. They should still send a message that says like, hey, not doing, unfortunately, you're not what we're looking for. But yeah, no wonder you're not getting anything. It's because this is a nightmare to read. I can't read far enough. And that while you did get the right keywords, you did not show me that you meet the qualifications by showing me how you did it and the reason or result. You kept trying to brag. That's why it fails. Next resume. This is a resume of a data analyst, which again, slightly different than a business analyst, different than an other analyst. So, degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, stakeholders, explaining the technical concepts and non-technical stakeholders. That is the same, and you absolutely need it. How you solve the problem with data, not what the data is. MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, Python, R, multiple projects, and deadlines. So, can I find it in 20 seconds? Probably not, because this person has a terrible ratio. Over 150 to 1. So, let's see if I can find it. And go. Oh, this is, okay. Engineer automated detection workflows. Okay, using SQL and Python to process grant records. Why do I care about that? What is data quality? I don't care about that. At least you have your degree. Conducted requirements analysis of an analytical objectives into technical specifications. Performing statistical modeling in Python. Python I need to quantify funding. I don't need this. Delivered storytelling. And that's it. You're deleted. Is there off in the formatting? Yeah, something's off in the formatting. I think you need to have, I don't know if you use the wrong font or it's not the right size, but you need to use this formatting because if you can tell, this is easier to read than this. So, let me read what you wrote, but you would definitely get deleted and yeeted. So, recently graduated, your age does not matter. It's been impossible to land any data analyst interviews or interact from recruiters. Though I have an interview for an SDR role, my one and only interview was last year, just prior to my senior year, in which I didn't make it to the offer stage. So, yeah, your resume is bad. Like you put in stuff I don't care about. Again, this is a resume that is trying to impress me rather than state plainly what they did. So let's go line by line for this first one to see what we find, right? So I found SQL and Python. Okay, good. But then you ruined it by saying all this stuff, like engineered automated data extraction and transformation workflows. Okay, to process grant records. Why do I care about that? Solving data quality inconsistencies through validation protocols that ensure regulatory reporting and compliance. Like, you overcomplicated it, bro. You know what you should have said? You should have said used SQL and Python and something else, right, to solve data issues for audits. So we are protected, or to ensure accuracy during audits. That would have made more sense than the word salad that you said. Remember, the people that are reading your resume, including the hiring manager, may not have your technical skills. Conducted requirement analysis through analytical objectives into technical specifications. I feel like AI wrote this. Performing statistical modeling in Python to identify and quantify funding disparities across category demographics with 95% confidence intervals. What part of that is this? That's not related. Again, your formatting is almost good, but this is a bullet point issue. I'd rather your resume look like trash and have terrible formatting as long as it has good bullet points, but I don't have that. And in this entire thing, You barely say anything. You say SQL, Python, and then if I'm being charitable, you say Tableau and explaining complex topics. That's 4 things in your first entire project that you took up 8 lines for, and that's it. I need 75% to move you forward. And again, I'm being very charitable by saying this is explaining complex topics. Like data story, just say explained, used, jeez, this is so hard to read. Used data visualization, Tableau, to explain to our non-technical stakeholders what the data meant so that they could support their X policy and make informed decisions. This is not what I'm looking for. What I said is, and then we go down here and it's ETL, so extracted and transformed or whatever, which again, I don't care about because a data analyst doesn't need it. Maybe a business analyst would. Maybe a data science would, but not a data analyst. So this worthless using R. Okay, that's, again, not really something I'm looking for. SQL, I am. Solving data standardization, I don't care about that. Again, you're focusing on what you're trying to impress me. You're trying to say, I am so incredibly good. Look at all this data I did. Look how clean and valid and amazing it is. And unfortunately, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, no one cares. Like, the people that are hiring you do not care about that. They don't care that the data is clean. They don't even know what that means, I bet. All they care about is that what number mean. And you don't explain what number mean. They care that number go up, if number go down, why number go down. Don't know. You didn't explain it. And they care that you used MS Excel and macros and pivot tables, how you solved a problem with it. And I just don't see any of that. So your big problem is not a formatting issue. It's the fact that your bullet points say practically nothing, and it takes you this far down to get what? Again, 4 things I'm looking for. In fact, you don't say anything I need until Excel down here. This much, more than half of the first page, has only 4 things I'm looking for. This is what matters. It doesn't matter that you processed grant records. It doesn't matter that you extracted and transformed. None of that matters. What matters is that you can explain it to them. Because these are people that don't know how to turn on their monitor. And you're trying to think that they know what this means. They don't. So make it simpler. I need you to write it seriously for, like, I know you know this. I know you know an aunt, an uncle, a parent, a grandparent that you said, oh, I got a BA in statistics and data science. And they say, can you help me with my taxes and turn on my computer? That's who you have to write it for. But this is other interns and other data analysts will look at this and see, wow, look at all the cool stuff you've done. But people that are not in your industry, which again may be the manager, have no idea what this means. So that's all I can do for this. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends and family so that they too can get ahead of their job search. And if you ever need more help, join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And I will see you all in the next video.